I mean, if we're talking run training, I mean, everybody's going to be so curious. How did you structure that running week? Like, what was your Monday? What was your Tuesday? What was your Wednesday?
I was quite different than most British people, and I think like a lot of British people, they like a long run day is a Sunday.
Yeah, that's a classic thing.
It's a classic thing, yeah. And if no one dares do a long run on a Wednesday, you know.
No way.
It can't be done, you know. But I certainly because when I started teaching and working full time, well, it was partly that and partly because of the knowledge I'd gained over the 10 years leading up to my 30s. Once I got into my 30s, my training changed slightly because my body, you know, I was older. My body, you just don't jump out of bed and recover as quick as you do when you're in your 20s. I had to adapt my training that way. But also, I kind of did things, a lot of British athletes, I mean, I'm being a bit general here, stereotypical, kind of do things in weekly cycles, don't they? Long day, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday is track sessions.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of did like, well, I want to do a 10k session, a speed session, a threshold type session, get you long running, and that would take over probably a 10-day cycle.
Right, instead of like a weekly cycle.
Sometimes to fit the sessions in, it will go over a 2-week cycle.
Right.
Depending on what I wanted out of where I was in like the season, or leading up to track sessions, or in the winter. I never stuck rigidly to Sunday's long run day, Tuesday's track sessions, Wednesday's, I never stuck religiously to that. If long run day happened to be on a Wednesday or a Thursday, that didn't matter. It was just how I structured those 10 14 day cycles.
So Tuesday one week could be a track session, it could be a long run another week.
Yeah. I think when I hit my 30s, I think what was important, that I made sure that every time I stepped out the door, there was a purpose to what I did. Right. It wasn't just go out for a jog.
Yeah.
There had to be a physiological benefit again to everything I did, which I felt was important. I couldn't train, every single day. I trained every day, but I couldn't have I didn't recover enough because I was 34, 35 years old.
Going to work and everything.
You're working, you're on your feet, you didn't have time to do all the ice bath and the stretching as much as you wanted to and that sort of thing. So I would make sure I got the most out of every session. I don't think I ever went out for a jog.
Now,
so a non-session there, a jog would be, 2 mile warm up, 2 mile warm down, and 10 miles in the middle. But that 10 miles will be clip 5:30 pace, 5:30 mile pace.
Right.
So you're clipping along.
Yeah.
You're
it's
not just taking picture selfies and looking at the scenery. You're clipping along. Where that was an easy day. That was just an easy run day.
Yeah.
But I knew that on my easy run day, I got a physiological benefit out
from it. Now, when you did that kind of run, that was later on in your career. So definitely, I could imagine that with all that base that you had over the years, that naturally easy running wouldn't give you any benefit because you already had all those base miles. Now, would you say in somebody just starting out running, they could get a lot of benefit from just easy running?
Yeah. I think when I was a lot younger, I was able to do a couple of sessions a week where I would go 100% out, absolutely max myself out.
Yeah.
If I did that in my 30s, it would take me 3 days to recover.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I know it sounds crazy, it kind of wasn't worth completely maxing yourself out in a session for not to train properly for 3 or 4 days because you were so wiped out.
Right.
When I was a kid, you could just jump out of bed the next morning and you
be
were
all
out
right.
the door. Yeah. Where when I was in my 30s, I would go at like that 85, 90%, but I could do that most days.
Yeah,
if
right.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
And the benefit of going out 80, 90% most days outweighed a one-off 100%, and then 3 or 4 days where you pick up an injury, or because you've got them maxed out, or you couldn't perform at your best for the next 3 or 4 days. I found that balance
makes sense.
It does, but like I say, when I was a kid, in my early 20s, we used to do some track sessions where we absolutely
puking up at the end.
Yeah, it was like, my coach used to say it's pass out or puke up session. You give it everything you got. But you were 21, you woke up the next day.
Let's do it again.
So my training evolved. I was quite lucky that I had three key coaches in my career. My first coach was my father, up until I was about 21, which was probably the best thing that happened to me in terms of the longevity of my career.
Right.
Because my father was obsessed with keeping my mileage low.
Okay.
Making me run on grass all the time. Never went on the track. Never put spikes on. Always running on grass, soft surfaces, no high mileage. Where I see kids now just, in the teens, just smashing out the sessions, and I wonder whether the body can take it at that age.
Yeah.
He really held me back. I remember going to World Juniors and finishing about I think it was about 12th. I mean, it's 12th in the world.
Yeah.
It's still pretty good, but I remember being very disappointed. And I remember my dad on the flight home saying, "Look, we could have won that. I could have trained you to win that. But I want you to be a senior. I want you to be an international
produce
senior."
up there. Yeah. Exactly.
If I'd have trained you to be the best junior, you probably would have been wiped out or full of injuries or completely lost interest in the sport, because he really protected me, and I think that's why I was able to still be running. I made the Olympics at 35. I'm convinced that's what at least helped me to have a long career. The second coach was obsessed with speed, and my other coach was obsessed with distance.
Okay, so you had all kind of
the complete
package,
ends of the spectrum. Both. I mean, there's, what do they say? There's more than one way to skin a rabbit or something.
Yeah.
Both coaches got me to do decent times and decent races. It was only when I'd finished with both coaches and I kind of looked at all my schedules and kind of pieced the jigsaw together of that bit worked for me, that bit worked from one coach, that bit worked from the other coach, that again
came up with your own method.
Yeah, that allowed me to. I was, for the last 5 or 6 years, was self-coached.
Look at this from Stuart Stokes. Great performance. Both ways.